the girl just accidentally touched the badge. In an instant, she was so scared that she let out a terrified scream. She simply couldn't believe what had just happened. Then she bent down and prepared to give it another try. That's when she realized that what she had just seen wasn't an illusion. In order to find out what was going on, the girl picked up the badge. The next second, she was transported to a golden wheat field, and not far away, there stood a building full of a sense of technology. Just as she was about to go up and take a closer look, suddenly, she banged her head against the wall. The girl was a bit puzzled by what she had just seen. Before she could gather her wits, the man in front of her was about to pick up the badge for her. Upon seeing this, Amy quickly stopped him. To hide the secret of the badge, she quickly wrapped the badge with the outer skin of a piece of chewing gum. On the way home at night, Amy asked her father to touch the badge. Strangely enough, her father didn't show any signs of anything unusual. Amy had a look of confusion on her face. It turned out that not everyone could use the badge. However, just as she turned around to look at the building, her father suddenly snatched the badge from her and interrupted her. In order to figure out the secret hidden in the badge, when it was late at night and everything was quiet, Amy quietly took away the badge that her father had confiscated. And then she appeared in the golden wheat field again. Out of curiosity, she decided to go and find out what was there. But unexpectedly, the next second, she fell heavily down the stairs. At this moment, Amy realized that although she had been in a different world just now, she was still moving between the real world and that other world. In order to figure out what the badge really meant, Amy looked at the city ahead, estimated the distance, and then prepared to go there. Soon she came to an empty grassland. However, there was nothing there until Amy touched the badge again. Unexpectedly, at that moment, she had already arrived in the very center of the city. The world here was at least several hundred years ahead of the modern world. Moreover, the people around were not only tall in stature, but also dressed in a very stylish way that was characteristic of their era. At this time, Amy heard someone seemingly greeting her. She was surprised and went up to ask the person. However, she never expected that the people here could actually see her. Then Amy excitedly got on the hovering subway. Looking at the surrounding facilities, she couldn't help but marvel at the power of technology. But soon, the badge suddenly gave out a low battery alert sound. When Amy got off the subway, she suddenly felt that it was very difficult for her to move forward, and the badge was about to run out of power. The astronaut beside her even wanted to invite her to go to outer space. However, just at the moment when she was about to board the spaceship, Amy returned to the real world again. At this moment, she had already walked to the middle of the lake, and the badge had completely run out of power. So how could Amy return to the different world again to find out the truth? Due to copyright restrictions, only this much can be shown here. The name of the movie is Tomorrowland.